Hello, students! Congratulations! You are now on the fourth session of our online course. Just a little recap before we proceed to a new subtopic. You learned from the previous sessions about vocabulary words. You will use those vocabularies in this topic, so I hope you still remember them. You also learn about inquiry questions pertaining on the past to get to know other people. Also, you've learned how to properly respond to those kinds of questions. For this session, we will be talking about your past with the proper use of I used to. Are you ready? So let's start. I have here a video, and before I play it, please pay attention how the interviewer asked questions and how did the interviewees respond to those questions. To tell you about the background of the interview, June, the interviewer, is interviewing different immigrants from different countries in the United States. So let's take and watch this.
Welcome to Melting Pot, the show where we talk about life in North America. My name is June Park. I was born in South Korea, but my family and I moved to the United States when I was 16. There are many immigrants from all over the world here. Over 45 million people living in the United States and Canada were born in a foreign country. That's a lot of people. And today, we're gonna meet a few of them.
My name is Nami Musali.
Thank you for being our guest here at Melting Pot.
Thank you. I was born in Damascus, Syria.
How old were you when you moved to the US?
When I came to the United States, I was 12 years old.
And what was that like, coming here as a 12-year-old boy?
It was very different. I grew up in a small town, southern Damascus.
What did you used to do for fun in Syria?
I used to play a lot of soccer.
What do you miss most about your home country?
My mother, definitely. That's the number one thing, definitely. Spent a lot of time together.
Well, thanks for being our guest here at Melting Pot.
My name is Patricia de Oliveira. I am originally from Brazil.
How old were you when you moved?
When I moved to the United States, I was 6 years old.
What was it like for your family to move to a new country?
When we first moved to the United States, it was difficult, quite a culture shock. My parents didn't speak any English when they first moved here, and so I used to translate for them in the beginning, but as they took classes and learned English, that stopped.
What languages do you speak?
I speak both Portuguese and English now.
What do your parents miss the most about their home country?
The proximity of our family members. In Brazil, because there was a lot of family around, there's always picnics, parties, going to the beach.
Have you been back to visit?
I have not been back to visit yet. I would like to visit Brazil very soon.
My name is Rolando Carrera. I was born in Chihuahua, Mexico. It's the northern area of the country.
When you were a kid, what did you used to do for fun?
Most of the time I have to say that I used to listen to music in English. I used to listen to records over and over and over.
What did you used to do for work in Mexico?
I used to work for a record company.
What was it like moving to the United States?
In the beginning, it was difficult not to be able to communicate and talk to people and make yourself understood. And so I felt frustrated a lot of times. But once my English improved, I was able to communicate better.
What do you miss most about your home country?
Besides my family, the food, and the food is amazing in Mexico. It's very colorful.
Well, thank you for being our guest here on Melting Pot.
You're very welcome.
Welcome to our show.
Thank you.
What is your name?
Mihoko Hakata. I'm from Tokyo, Japan.
How long have you been in the United States?
It's been about 8 years. I went to school in New York City. I used to study art, and now I go to school in Boston.
What do you miss most about your home country?
I miss this place called Shonan. There's a beach and many restaurants also.
Well, thank you for being our guest on Melting Pot.
Thank you.
So many people, so many stories. Maybe you're wondering about me. What I remember most about Korea is the food my grandmother used to make. Yukgaejang. It's shredded beef in spicy broth. Yummy. This is pretty good, but not quite as good as my grandmother's. Hers is still the best. And that's our show. This is June Park reporting from Melting Pot.
Let's see how did the interview go. The first question June asked Nami is, how old were you when you moved to the United States? Do you still remember our previous lesson? Before answering, we need to analyze the question first. Because verbs are in the past tense, this means that it requires answers about the past. So you need to give your response using past tense of the verb. The next consideration is it a WH question or a yes or no question? The question starts with how, so it means this is a WH question and it requires a specific detail. In this case, the interviewer is asking about the age of Nami. So, to answer the question, Nami said, when I came to the United States, I was 12 years old. You can also answer by saying, when I moved to the US, I was 12 years old. It's just the same with when I came to the United States, I was 12 years old. We just retained move and moved here. So it's the same answer, it has the same meaning, it is the same response. So let's move on to the next question. The next question is, what did you used to do for fun in Syria? Alright, so you can see here the word, what did you used to do? Okay, this is our topic for this lesson. So to answer this one, Nami said, I used to play a lot of soccer. So remember, when you see this used, because it's in past tense, you should transpose your verb into past tense also. So Nami answered, I used to play a lot of soccer, meaning he is not playing soccer anymore. Okay? So in this case, we can use used to talk about a past habit or state we don't do anymore. So meaning before Nami used to play a lot of soccer, but now he's not playing anymore. Do you understand? Okay. Alright, so let's proceed to the next question. So June asked, when you were a kid, what did you used to do for fun? It is kind of like the same question with Nami. So Roland said, most of the time I have to say that I used to listen to music in English. So if you try to understand the response of Rolando, when he was a kid, he always listened to music in English. But now, he's not doing that anymore. So that is the meaning of the word used to. Remember, we can use used to talk about the past habit or state we don't do anymore. I would like to show you pictures, and what I want you to do is to complete each statement using used to. So the first picture is this. Alright, it's a comic book. So when I was a kid, blank. So what should be the correct statement for this one? When I was a kid, blank. What do you do with the comic book? Do you watch it? Do you listen to it? Or do you read it? So with those clues, you should be able to complete the statement. Okay, so if your answer is when I was a kid, I used to read comic books. Then you are correct. Alright, so again, when I was a kid, I used to read comic books. So let's move on to the next picture. What is this picture? So this is what? A video game. So with this clue, you should be able to complete the statement. When I was a kid, blank. So what do you do with a video game? Do you just watch it? Do you play with it? Or do nothing about it? So with those clues, you should be able to complete the statement. When I was a kid, blank. Alright, so if your answer, when I was a kid, I used to play video games, then you are correct. Once again, the correct answer is when I was a kid, I used to play video games. If this is your answer, you are correct. Let's move on to the next picture. Alright, what is this? This is a picture of what? Beach. Okay. These pictures are all from your vocabularies. Okay. If your answer is we used to go to the beach every summer, then you are correct. We used to go to the beach every summer. Okay, if this is your answer, you are correct. One other possible answer for this one is we used to swim or we used to visit the beach every summer. We used to play sandcastle on the beach every summer. So those are the possible answers to this picture. Our next activity is about figuring out the correct question using the pictures and answers as your hints. So let's start. The first picture and answer is this one. The answer is no. We didn't collect shells. We used to build sand castles. So what is the correct question for this one? Remember, we just reversed the arrangement of the answers and questions, but the logic and process is still the same. You need to analyze if it is a WH or a yes or no question. Then, what is being asked? And from there, you can get the correct question. So for this one, if your answer is did you collect shells, then you are correct. Okay, so the question is, did you collect shells? And the answer is, no, we didn't collect shells. We used to build sand castles. Did you get it? Alright, let's move on to the next picture and answer. So take a look at this one. This will serve as your hint. And the answer is, back then, I used to play rock music. Again, analyze and think. What is the correct question for this one? Alright. So if your answer is, what kind of music did you used to play back then? Then you are correct. And to answer that, back then, I used to play rock music. The next one is this picture. This will again serve as your hint. And the answer for this one is, my mother used to cook spicy foods when we were in Mexico. So think and analyze what is the correct question for this one. If your answer is what kind of food did your mother used to cook, then you are correct. If you put ed here, or if you put d here, that's wrong. It's supposed to be the base form of the verb because you have here the word did. Remember, when you have did in your sentence, the verb should be in the base form. It's like this one. What kind of food did your mother used to cook? Alright? So if this is your answer, you are correct. In the assignment section of this session, you will see this file. You should be able to talk about your childhood memories using the words in the box. Choose one word from the box to complete each category in the map. Then write a sentence about your childhood memories using used to. This is the end of our fourth session. Please remember to submit your assignment on time. Otherwise, the system won't accept late submissions. Alright? So that's all. See you and good luck. Bye bye.